Really quick before we get into today's video, guys, I just want to say a massive shout out to Shield. He is an absolutely talented artist. This artwork that you guys are seeing on screen as of right now is his own rendition of the brand new character that we're going to get into in just a second. His touch is almost as close as Nomura's. This guy is a junior Nomura when it comes to the art, dude. He is absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to leave his Twitter and YouTube links in the description below. You guys should go check him out. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Cynical and welcome back to another Kingdom Hearts news and information video. Today for you guys, we have some juicy stuff. Finally, we have the reveal of the 5th and final leader of the Dandelions. This is something that we've been waiting a long time for, and last month during the D23 hype, within amongst all of the interviews that were going on, Tetsuya Nomura actually mentioned the fact that in August, which is obviously the month we're in as of right now, Union Cross, specifically looking at the Japanese version, will be receiving the update that introduces the 5th leader of the Dandelions. Now, the reveal of the 4th leader, who is known as Blaine, happened quite a while ago, so it's been some time since we've actually received a substantial story update, and of course this has been anticipated for a while now. And I'm happy to announce that the 5th and final leader of the Dandelions is this cutie right here, known as Strelitzia. 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 Square. You're killing me with these names. I don't know where you're pulling these dang names from, but I have never seen some of these words in my life. Hell, I didn't even know some of these even existed. Nonetheless, Square Enix are back at it again with more hipster names, and this time around we have the introduction of Strelitzia. Now, I'm not really too sure if this is actually how you pronounce her name or not. Of course, for quite some time we were calling Lushu Luxu, and then of course, thanks to back cover, it was confirmed that the way you pronounce Luxu is actually Lushu. So it could be a similar case with this. But this is her right here. She is a female character, and like we were speculating back when, of course, Blaine got revealed, we were speculating upon the fact that the 5th member will most likely be a female character, and we were right. So thanks to KH Insider, we actually have some translations of what is currently going on within this massive story update that introduces the 5th leader. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to read through the translations. This is going to give you guys an idea as to what sort of a character this person is. So without further ado, let's jump into it. I'm Strelitzia. Okay, no, we're not gonna do the whole voice thing. Cue the normal cynical voice. I'm Strelitzia. This is my spot, mine alone. I've spent my days these past 2 years defeating creatures from the dark and protecting light. I've met a lot of people and said goodbye to a lot of people. My party members have been replaced over and over too. I didn't have many teammates or friends who had been with me since the start. But I do have a friend who I've shared the time with since way back. I first saw them at the Fountain Plaza. You looked as though you'd be waiting for someone for a long time. I went on my mission and you were still there waiting, or whatever you were doing by the time I got back. In the end, they never came. You picked up your Cherokee, and tears welled up in my eyes. Ever since that, I'd come across you every now and again. I think I'd probably actually seen you before that too. But after I saw you at the Fountain Plaza that time, I began to be aware of whenever you were around me. So many times I saw you and thought of striking up a conversation, but in the end I was never brave enough. Back then, everyone was just going about their days as usual, not sensing that anything was wrong. But it seems like you were seeing something different to everyone else. You looked somewhat special. You don't know me, but I felt like we were friends. I always hoped we'd get to talk someday. Strelitzia. Lady Ava. You are a dandelion, right? I know this is sudden, but there's something I'd like to ask of you. Huh? Me? Please stay calm and listen while I tell you this. Soon, this world will... So that right there is the translations of everything that was currently going on with the introduction of this brand new character. Now, from the seams of things, Strelitzia seems to be a very shy person, a person that doesn't clearly have many friends. And within this reading, we can depict the fact that she, for some time, has been paying close attention to the player character of Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key or Union Cross. That player character obviously being the character that you play as, your own character within Unchained Key / Union Cross. So in a way, I'm kind of getting some creepy vibes off this girl. She seems to be a little bit of a stalker. So that's right guys, we now have a #1 fan. It's a good feeling, but it's kind of creepy at the same time. So from what we can actually take from this whole entire time, while we've been doing quests throughout worlds, while different things have been happening within Daybreak Town, and these certain things that us as player characters have been involved in, Strelitzia has actually been watching us from the back, and that's kind of creepy. So really, this introduction doesn't really tell us too much about the character, only from the fact that she's very alone, and that she's wanted to actually form some sort of a friendship or relationship with us, but she hasn't actually had the courage to do so. She of course considers our player character a quote-unquote friend, even though we actually have never really met her. And then of course towards the end of the cutscene, we then see Lady Ava talking to Strelitzia, handing the green notebook. And within this notebook is obviously the laws of becoming one of the leaders of the Dandelions, the same book that we see passed around within the introduction of Blaine. So that is pretty much it in terms of Strelitzia for this point in time, but you guys will probably notice that we don't really get too much of an in-depth introduction towards the newer sort of Dandelion members, mainly looking towards Blaine and Ventus. They had a very straight-to-the-point introduction, but still, there's a lot of mysteries that surround these characters. When looking specifically at Strelitzia though, I think this is probably the most in-depth introduction we've had for one of the newer Dandelion leaders. Now jumping back to the speculation that we were talking about around the time of not actually knowing who the 5th leader is going to be, we were talking about the possibility that perhaps maybe this 5th leader, if of course this 5th leader is going to be a female character, might actually be Kairi's grandmother. And this point still stands, and I know a lot of you guys are currently talking about this as of right now, but this point still stands. Kairi's grandmother might actually possibly be Strelitzia. Now if we think about it, Kairi's grandmother has a lot of knowledge on the olden days, ancient times, the times that I would gather Union Cross takes place in. She talks about the fact that back in the day, there was a world that was full of light that emitted from children's hearts. That sounds a lot like Daybreak Town to me. And not only that, but the introduction of Kingdom Hearts Key starts us off with a slight conversation between Kairi's grandmother and Kairi when she was a little girl. And so there's a few different things that are currently sticking out that leads us to sort of believe that perhaps maybe this 5th leader could in fact be Kairi's grandmother. There is however one thing that tells me otherwise, and it's a pretty small detail but important nonetheless. If we actually look at Strelitzia's eye color, it's green, which for the most part is pretty interesting, quite unique. But then we look at the eye color of Kairi's grandmother, and her eye color is blue. Another thing that I thought was interesting to point out is it's very clear that Strelitzia right here has what people are believing to be a recusant sigil, obviously the X, that we see on her shoulder as well as in her hair. Now this could be a simple clothing design sort of thing, but it's interesting because I feel like whenever we see a sort of X branded on something nowadays, most of us are going to think instantly recusant sigil thanks to Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, as of course we know that the organization branded that X on Sora's clothing within Dream Drop Distance to obviously keep track of where Sora was throughout the period of that game. So the same thing might actually be going on here. Maybe she's got some sort of a connection to the recusant sigil, or like I was saying, this could just be a simple clothing design choice. But anyway guys, that is all of the news and information for today. Things are starting to brew up within the lore of Union Cross. We finally have all 5 of the Dandelion leaders, which probably means that from here on in, any other major story updates that actually happen will obviously include this group, known as the Dandelions, with the leaders actually pursuing what they need to do. And so I believe that the lore itself is going to start kicking off and will start becoming particularly more interesting. But guys, I've been Cynical. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. In the comment section down below, let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions towards the 5th leader right here. Do you like the character? Do you think she's a little bit mysterious? Let me know. I'd love to know. Alright guys, until next time, I'll catch you later. Peace.